Greetings. I'm George Boston Rhines with the Get To Free Press. Today is April the 16th, 2018, 4:15 a.m. The reason for this video this morning is that I want to talk to the Democratic Party and to the chair of the Democratic Party, G.B.R. Porter. I want to talk to Stacey Abrams and other top candidates running for office across the state of Georgia. As you have seen on many of my videos, Boston G.B.R. on YouTube, there are a group of Democrats, not millenniums, although we have some millenniums, people up to 70 and 80 years old. We have appealed unto the Democratic Party, Chair G.B.R. Porter and others. We have united collectively at various meetings, not on a big scale. It's not about a scale. We just wanted the Democratic Party to hear us. In Sylvester, Georgia, couple of years ago, it was brought up that we will not vote for the Democratic Party because the Democrats have ignored us. They call us wanting and seeking our financial support and contributions. They tell us that they are recording us and that they will get back to us, and they never did. And so the Democratic Party believe that we're going to continue this one-sided love affair. We give you support financially. We vote Democratic Party. We look for change and recognition. But when we need the Democratic Party here in the state of Georgia and North Florida, the Democratic Party does not come to address our issues. And when Democrats vote, and after they are elected, and when they are attacked by a group of white people and Uncle Toms and Aunt Janes across the state of Georgia and Madison, Florida, they ignore this group of Democrats. So today I'm not going to be long, but I do want to be firm. I have sent videos to even my beautiful sister and candidate for governor, Stacey Abrams. I have even been in the crowd and didn't say a word. I just observed her, because I have sent videos through her Facebook page, through others in her campaign. And yet, we, the discouraged, disenfranchised group of Democrats, we will let you continue to call us and ask for dollars. We will continue to sit on the sideline and withhold our vote. I repeat, we are withholding our vote. As a retired military veteran, even when I was overseas in Japan many years ago, I'm now retired, I voted for the Democratic Party, straight ticket. I gave money to the Democratic Party. But when I found out that they just totally ignore us, I joined these people out of Columbus. At first, I disagreed with them. But then they made more and more sense to me when I found out that they would call me and they'll say, we're recording you and we will pass this on to the concerns in the Democratic Party. And it was just like being screwed. And they tell you that you're pregnant. You wait 9, 10 months only to be disappointed. And so today, I base this short talk on historic facts that we have gathered over these many years, especially since 2008. Well, why would a group of intelligent veterans, mothers, fathers, community leaders, why would they withhold their vote and not vote for the Democratic Party when we see the chaos in the Republican Party? Well, you have to understand that after being screwed for all these years, and you think you're pregnant, you're waiting to give birth because you think that you have done something successful with your monies, with your efforts, but the baby never comes. For instance, if you travel to Sylvester, Georgia, you will hear the cry of people saying, with all that we are having to go wrong in this community, the Democratic Party leadership, for the most part, ignore us. If you go to Douglas, Georgia, with Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson, who have been taken to court several times, she won her case, found to be not guilty after a mistrial first, and all charges dropped against her along the lines of voter fraud, etc., etc., and the Democratic Party just sit, say, and do nothing. DuBose Porter are fully aware of what goes on in Homerville, Georgia, with a white city councilman by the name of Witherspoon, who has homestead exemption in Florida, in Lowndes County, Georgia, where I reside, and holding public office in Homerville. Yet, nothing happens. The Democratic Party cannot be heard, but the people in Homerville suffer as a result of being ignored. People in Columbus, Georgia, are very intelligent. They are fed up with the Democratic Party because when they need them, they are nowhere to be found. And I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Let's move over to Broxton, Georgia. And by the way, all these names that I'm calling, Google their name under Boston G.B.R. and watch the video, especially in Sylvester, so you will hear Democrats at a public meeting vowing not to vote for the Democratic Party nor the Republican Party, but just to withhold their vote. They talked about being few in numbers, but the numbers are growing. People are tired of being used and having their votes taken away by the Democratic Party, only to believe that they're going to give birth in 9 months and the baby never comes. They are highly disappointed. Move over to Willacoochee, Georgia, wherein voter problems arise. The white mayor was going around paying people to vote, campaigning in a state official car, and much, much more. I'm talking about NAACP district coordinator stood up. All you have to do is Google this and look at the video. And when we address the Democratic Party to come in on these issues, the black candidate lost. The Democratic Party under DuBose Porter just sat, said, and did nothing. Wait a minute. I haven't finished yet. Go over to Davisboro, Georgia. I was called by a group of blacks and Democrats there who was having problems with their white police chief to the degree and to the extent that they were afraid of the white police chief. And when they called me, some of them were so afraid they decided not to pursue it. Did DuBose Porter address that issue in the Democratic Party? I think not, backed up on facts. So you go to Broxton, Georgia, that's $750,000 been taken from the taxpayers of Broxton, Georgia. You have heard President Presley speak on that on my videos and the work that I've done. We have sent this information to the Democratic chair. We have posted on our website. We have gone to the Democratic Party, post these videos, but the Democratic Party think that they will continue to make love to us on a one-sided affair and think they have us fooled. And so we expect the baby, but the baby never comes. Let's move on to a little place called Sparta, Georgia, in Hancock County. Hancock County. And the news media must be added into this mix, because the news media here in America, not only the state of Georgia and these local communities, they refuse to connect the dots and connect all these voting problems across the state of Georgia and Florida with the Madison, Florida 9, in case I forgot them. The Madison, Florida 9, originally there was the Madison, Florida 12, but they dropped a few of them because of weak charges they brought them up on. All of this is to suppress, abate, and remove black mayors from office. But the Democratic Party do not care about this. For if the Democratic Party cared about these issues and these cities and these voters and these candidates and these elected officials, there is no way that they would not contact us and ask us, give us a list of those people, those communities, so we can go and look into and show them that we care about them. They haven't called any of us. They play a game. They call us for support, but we are tired. We're tired of being screwed and not getting any results from our actions. Wait a minute, haven't finished yet. Move over to Gordon, Georgia with Mary Ann Whippaloo. All you have to do is Google Gordon, Georgia and Mary Ann Whippaloo and see the hell they put that woman through. You need to see for yourself what they have done to her. And the Democratic Party Chair DuBose Porter are fully aware of what is going on. How do you know, Brother Rhymes? How do you know? Because I have videos, probably 1,000 videos, concerning Gordon and what those white people, even the city attorney, the local news media, the job that they have done to discredit that black mayor. And they did a good job at it. And DuBose Porter newspaper, which he is the executive chair, sat and put that woman through hell and low water. And we as black people and white right people continue to put that man back in the chair to serve the Democratic Party. And he, in my most humble opinion, along with the people that meet with us, is a disgrace to the Democratic Party. And somebody must say it, not behind closed doors or in the bathroom in the commode with the lid closed. We must tell the truth. Either Democratic leaders will stand up for us, or we must vacate the party in its entirety. Move around to Clayton County, Georgia, with my beautiful brother, I can't think of his name right now, who stood boldly before the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, in Macon to talk about what happened to him with the Board of Elections. And we do have a black lady, at that time anyway, in Clayton County that served no purpose. And yet the Democratic Party didn't come to assist that candidate whose name was left off the paperwork. Either the Democratic Party leadership will listen to us, or you will never get our vote again. I know. Many of you all are saying, are you that ignorant that you're going to withhold your vote and punish your children and don't vote at all about what's going on? We understand. You have to realize some of us are professional people. Many of us are active duty, retired military veterans, disabled veterans, etc., etc. But there come a time in life when you've been screwed so much, you have to pay a price. You must pay a price. And some of us are willing to pay that price. We want you to know that we will not be used and played for a fool any longer. Wait a minute. Haven't finished yet. I said earlier, these communities are being torn apart while the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, who has an all-white Board of Election, I repeat, who have an all-white state Board of Election, a board, and it is a disgrace, it is a disgrace, it is a disgrace. Move over to Lumpkin, Georgia, with former Mayor Charles Gibson. Naya, the clerk was moved from office, overqualified for the job, and once again, the Democratic Party, the mayor Gibson was even called a nigger. And I'm asking you, where was the state president, DeBose Porter, on that issue? Well, as I said before, you got to understand, you must understand that we are tired and sick and tired of being tired. And it's time for the Democratic Party to continue to do what you do if you don't want our vote. All you have to do is continue with, and we are growing in numbers. Stacey Abrams have been made aware of this. Oh yeah, we have done everything that we could to get it out to candidates that people across the state of Georgia are fed up, over fed up with the Democratic Party. Go to Meg's, Georgia, when they played a game on that lady, man. Linda Harris, the mayor, I mean, they brought her up on crumped up charges. Her brother received criminal trespasses, both her brothers, 2 or 3 each. They ran that woman in the ground. The police chief, the sheriff, according to her, the editor of, not the editor, the reporter from the Thomasville Enterprise. You can see all this on my videos. You can see how Miss Murphy lied on her, and she finally was driven out of office. But you don't have to take my word for it. Just Google Meg's, Georgia, and Linda Harris, and watch the facts. I'm not talking what I heard. I'm not talking lies. I'm speaking the truth, backed up by bold, historic, archival facts. And yet, the Democratic Party don't care. Over in Camilla, Georgia, with Rufus Davis, the things that he's going through, I know he got contact. I know he respects Stacey Abrams and others, and that's good. I have no problem with that. But all I'm saying to the Democratic Party is live up to the people that have lived up and stepped up to the plate to support you over these many decades, only to be left in the doctor's room, waiting to give birth, but the baby never comes. Go to Quitman, Georgia, in Brooks County with the Quitman 10+2. Oh man, it was a disgrace what they treated them. It took 4 years for those people to be cleared. 119 to 200 charges brought upon them by the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp. And it was indeed a disgrace, and I'm not going to try to educate you at this point. I just want you to Google the Quitman 10+2. Miss Lula Smart case. Her first case was a mistrial. Her second was a mistrial. Her third one, she won outright. They dropped all charges against her. And then the state of Georgia tried her the last time, but she was found not guilty. And where was the Democratic Party of the state of Georgia? Where was the leadership? DeBose Porter. Did he come? Did he show that he was concerned about what these people was doing? Had to fight a postal clerk, John Boone, had to fight a school board of education former attorney, had to fight white wrong people, had to fight Uncle Tom's and Aunt Jane of a darker hue, and yet I had to fight the judges and the district attorney, had to fight the prosecutor, state prosecutor, and in the final analysis they won. They won just like Olivia Coley Pearson in Douglas, Georgia, when she was brought up on bogus charges because she speaks her mind just like her mother. She has never betrayed the black community nor the white community. It's just that the white wrong people and the Uncle Toms and Aunt Jane rising up against any strong black leadership. And it is indeed time for black folk to understand, just because you have somebody over the Democratic Party that may look good, smell good, taste good, and sound good, and even smell good, but when it comes down to standing up for you and your children and coming to these little small towns and tell them you're worth something, we respect you, they ignore these voters. And so now you got the voters ignoring you, Democratic Party, and you can say it's just me. But all I'm saying to you, keep ignoring us. Our numbers are growing. We are getting fed up with your lack of actions. And again, we are tired of being promised by the Democratic doctor that we are pregnant, but we never see the child born in the black and white right community. Wait a minute. I haven't finished yet. Don't you know when the Madison, Florida 12 dropped to the Madison, Florida 9, don't you know that it hurt those people when they needed people to come to their aid and to, if necessary, give a financial donation, if nothing else, when they go in the courtroom, to have somebody from the Democratic Party say, we care about you, you always vote Democrat. But Democrats ain't nowhere around. They nowhere around until they need your vote. And then they turn around and screw you and make a fool out of you. And it will not stop until it stops. And when the young man out of Columbus first told me about this movement, yes, it was an individual from Columbus, Georgia. He educated me in Sylvester, Georgia. I disagreed with him, and if you Google Sylvester, Georgia, you will hear me. And he said to me, that's because of your lack of ignorance. I mean, that's because of your state of ignorance. You can see this is what he said to me. You know, and I'm telling you, I was enlightened, and I already knew because I had done all these videos, know he was right. But I said to myself, how can we not vote the Democratic Party? And he said, how can we vote the Democratic Party when we keep voting for them and they keep ignoring us? The young lady that you see on the screen now, she's out of Atlanta. I recorded more video, more news concerning the Equipment 10+2 case than anybody in America. She's talking about how the G.B.R. lied on the stand. If you watch these videos and Google Equipment, Brooks County, you'll see how Pastor Avery talked about the Secretary of State, the District Attorney, the Postal Clerk, and others just lied on the stand, and the Democratic Party would not even pull the tape. That would be a historic document. I mean, that case with Equipment 10+2, if the Democratic Party really cared, they could use that tape to shake and to wake up America by the transcript. You would not believe what happened in that court case, but nobody seems to care. The judge would not even let the press record on the courthouse grounds. Do you hear what I say? Let alone inside of the courtroom. And it is indeed a disgrace. And DuBose Porter is a disgrace along with the judges, the district attorneys, and others that are intimidating, suppressing, controlling, putting fear in elderly folks. Do you not know across South Georgia there are elderly folks up to 85 years old, committed themselves, said they would never ever vote again. Let me repeat. They said they would never ever vote again because of the manner in which the G.B.R. came to their home with guns, intimidated them, and put fear in them. And when they reached out for the news media wouldn't tell their stories, and the Democratic Party didn't care. And so you got some people are so fed up and sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it is indeed a disgrace. And so once again, I close as I started. Today is April the 16th, 4:39 a.m. in the morning, 2018. I was sitting here and I was thinking about how I get so many calls from the Democratic Party members. They have a great, outstanding system. Let me repeat. The Democratic Party have a grade A system of calling me in particular, asking that I contribute to the Democratic Party as I had done in some years past. And I tell them, I got some of them recorded as they talk to me, and I tell them what I'm now telling you, that I will not donate and I will not vote. No, come November, if the Democratic Party don't weigh these words that I'm saying if they don't weigh these videos that I've documented historically since 2007 and 8, if they cannot listen, if they cannot stand publicly in some of these little small towns and tell these people, tell these voters, tell these mistreated mayors, tell these mistreated commissioners, tell these people that we know you've been suffering, we have ignored you, but we have changed. We want to hear your cries because we want your vote. Now you can sit as a Democratic leader, DuBose Porter, and you can ignore us. I'm not going to try to get on major news networks and down the Democratic Party. That's not my job. That's for someone else. But what I will do, I will keep meeting with this group of people who have committed themselves not to vote the Democratic Party, regardless of how much pain it causes us. We're not going to do it because you, Democratic Chair DuBose Porter, you ignore these little towns, many of them with black majorities, with a black majority city council, a black county commissioner, in some cases even the mayor and the city manager is black. But you won't come to these areas and you won't even send letters out when people tell you about the voting irregularities, how they are suppressing, intimidating the voters, putting fear in old elderly people, and they refusing to vote for anybody. They won't even go to the polls. We sent information to Hillary Clinton, the president, the presidential candidate, and she did not respond to any of us. When we had our meetings and the question was asked, who responded? The answer was always the same. The Democratic Party, they use that information to call you and ask for a donation and how they need to change and get Democrats elected to counter the Republicans, as if though we are fooled after being screwed all these decades. Once again, this is the Get To Free Press. I'm George Boston Rhines in Valdosta, Georgia. I'm all over the web. I'm all over the internet, everywhere. I'm not going to give my phone number. I'm not going to give my email. I'm just going to give you the truth. I'm just going to give you the facts. But if you are really concerned, all you have to do is just visit some of these people, communities that I've called, and prove me to be wrong. Show me, Stacey Abrams, that you care about these communities. Show us that you really want to be the governor of the state of Georgia. I hear your words. I listen to you quite frequently. Yeah, you came to Valdosta. You came to Valdosta. We heard your message. Yeah, we heard you. But do you hear us? Do you hear us? And will you hear us in November when you continue to do what you do with the Democratic chair, DuBose Porter? But you don't do it with the Quitman 10 plus 2, the Brooks County community. When you don't do it with the voters in Meigs, Georgia, where they terminated Mayor Linda Harris. When you don't do it with Camilla, Georgia. I know the brother supports you, and I respect him. I respect him very highly because I have seen him with Mr. Attorney Crump. I've seen him with Al Sharpton and other great leaders across the nation. But I did not see where he called these communities out that I have just highlighted. I haven't heard where he said what I said about the Democratic Party not visiting these other small towns where the Democrats are catching hell in low water. I respect my beautiful brother, but the truth must be told so the lies can be exposed. Move on to Lumpkin, Georgia. Democratic Party could have went there and assisted those people. Dawson, Georgia, Chris Wright shot 6 times. And come to find out about 4 weeks ago that the city manager had a hit put on him. Yeah, the city manager. This came out in the court. I was called over there. The NAACP president told me about it. He didn't create it. This was told before the judge by the shooter. Chris Wright didn't die. So the guy didn't get the $5,000, but he was paid $1,000 because he did injure the man, according to court records. Where is the Democratic Party in that situation? Move on around to Clayton County, Gordon, Georgia, Warrenton, Georgia, Davisboro, Georgia, Sparta and Hancock County, Broxton, Georgia. All these areas, Willacoochee, Georgia, Douglas, Georgia, Broxton, Georgia, Homerville, Georgia. Just to mention a few now. There are others. If you go up into the Augusta and Athens area, there's another whole new situation up there. I don't have that list. A guy shared it with me, but soon we're going to add those people. They are frustrated with the Democratic Party. Yeah, man. They are really frustrated with the Democratic Party. But the Democratic Party don't care, you see. When I was a little child, my grandmother told us, say, one of the worst words we could use around our house was, I don't care. And the Democratic Party is showing us that they don't care about their voters. They're showing that they don't care about our children. And the truth must be told. For if you cared, you would not ignore us. My grandmother said that I don't care, don't have a home, and therefore it goes from mouth to mouth every day. Mouth to mouth every day. And the Democratic Party has proven to us in these little small towns that they don't care about us outside of money and our vote and making us promises that they never keep. Sperming us, but not impregnating us with knowledge and with elevation and with real love. So you all have a nice day. If you noticed, I didn't get excited. I didn't raise my voice because I love you too much. But I don't love you more than I love myself. I don't love you more, Democratic Party. I love my own children. And sometimes we who are real Democratic soldiers, military people, we must say to the Democratic Party, go to hell. Go to hell. Because that's where you got us at, in hell. And I know they say love your enemies. Do good to them that hate you, etc., etc. All that's good for the Bible. But in our homes, when we get sick, we go to the doctor. If we have cancer, they give us radiation. Sometimes they have to cut, and it causes us great pain to heal us. And so we are going to inflict a little pain on the Democratic Party and on the Democratic leadership to let them know we are trying to heal you. And we're going to cause you a little pain. We know you won't feel it at first. You'll ignore it like you have done. But when we grow in numbers across the state and across this nation, you will feel us. You will feel us, and you will come to us, and you will say something of value, and we will see that a child is born. A child is born. But the way it is today, as it is today, in Quitman, December 21st, 2010, Brooks County County Jail, that's where those black individuals was taken to. They called me. I was visiting my relatives in Atlanta. And I came back to Quitman, and I stayed on the case of the Quitman 10+2. You can Google everything that I have said, every word, every video I've mentioned, and see if I'm lying. And I want you to also see if I'm lying about this group of Democrats that have committed themselves, regardless of how much it costs. We are committed not to vote for the Democrats. nor the Republicans. Now the Green Party and Independents got a golden opportunity. All you have to do is go to these small towns where people have been made fools of and whores and make a difference. Convince them that you care about them, their children, their votes, and their donations. Once again, to Get To Free Press, George Boston Ryan, YouTube TV, Boston G.B.R. And I want to close by saying to you, as you watch these videos and you will see 23 views, you think that those are the only views. First of all, YouTube does not count the views, number one. Number two, Google my name and go to other websites who pull my videos. They're all across the internet, not just on my channel. Yet the views don't go up, but the information is going out. Yeah, the information is going out. And people are watching over 1,400,000 views on this channel. So if it's that many on this channel, you can imagine at least 5 million views around the world.
They were hoping that they would take the plea. But when they didn't do that, they had to prove their case. And if you were in the courtroom, you would have seen one of the biggest fiascos you ever wanted to see in your life.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
The witnesses lied on the stand.
Yes, yes, yes.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation lied on the stand.
That's right.
Yes.
Falsified documents.
That's right.
Yes.
The Secretary of State lied on the stand.
Yes.
did.
Yes. Yes.
Boone from the post office, who started this whole mess, lied on the stand,
Sure did.
Yes.
all to try to make these citizens look guilty.
My
That's
Lord.
right.
My Lord.
But thank God that we have a God who sits high.
Come on now.
And he
Yes,
looks
sir.
down.
That's right.
Yes, Lord. Yes,
Lord.
Lord.
That's right.
The sad thing about this case is Governor Deal, who's the leader of the state of Georgia, left the state capital to come down here and suspend people who were elected to the school board.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
This election was certified
Yes, sir.
and without due process of law.
That's right.
Every person is entitled to due process of law,
Yes.
That's right.
but he's put it upon himself to suspend Dr. Nancy Danner, who has a doctor's degree,
Yes, sir.
Sister
Earned.
Diane Thomas, who has a master's degree,
Earned.
and
Yes.
Sister Linda Troutman.
Yes, Lord.
They treated us like, you have excuse me for saying us,
Earned.
because I feel I was just as angry as they were.
That's right. That's right.
Every citizen in Brooks County should have been angry
Upset.
Come on now.
Yes, sir.
for the way
Yes,
they
sir.
treated our citizens.
Yes,
That's right.
sir.
But yet many people didn't get involved because, number one, you thought they was guilty because the white man said they was.
There it is. There it is. Come on now. That's all right.
That's it. And you're scared.
Come on now. That's it. That's it.
My question is, how are you going to get the horse back into the barn?
Yes, he is.
That's right.
These people's names have been tarnished, their reputation besmirched. They have been talked about, accused of different things. And now they are proven innocent. How are you going to get the horse back in the... How will you restore these people good name and reputation? How are we going to do that? We need to look at that and see what we can do to help them restore their good name. One thing that most people didn't understand, and I'm getting ready to to close were that when the G.B.R, the Secretary of State, canvassed the community, they tried to strike fear in the heart of the black community.
Woo! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
They didn't want you to vote.
That's right.
They especially didn't want you to vote absentee because those absentee ballots can be accounted for.
Yes, sir. Paper
That's
trail.
right. Paper
This
trail.
trial proved that there was corruption downtown.
That's right.
If it wasn't for the absentee ballots, it never would have been uncovered.
That's right.
Many people don't understand that when those incumbents were declared the winner that night and woke up and had lost the election that next day, it's because they didn't intend to count the absentee ballots.
That's right. That's right.
But God prevailed. Amen.
Amen.
The prosecution changed the wording on the ballots to prosecute Lula Smart. The language was not there in 2010. They changed it
My Lord, my Lord.
That's right.
on the ballot to make it look like she was guilty. The prosecution suppressed evidence.
Yes, sir.
They hid evidence.
Show they did. Woo! I'm a witness.
Amen. Show no. Speak it. Tell the truth.
I believe that we ought to demand, as concerned citizens,
Yes, sir.
that they drop the charges on every remaining member.
Woo! There it is. Woo! There it is.
What's so amazing is that Sister Dana and all of the workers on the poll had been trained.
Yes.
They knew what to do. But yet they tried to make it look like they were incompetent. But God prevailed.
Amen.
Few of the fallacies of this trial, and then I'm going to sit down.
Amen.
I don't know about you, but I got angry when I looked. I didn't even vote absentee ballot that time. And here come the G.B.R. and the Secretary of State knocking on my door.
Wow.
Wow.
But one thing that happened that most people don't understand is that you all shut them down.
Amen.
Amen.
You all shut them down. When you told them that we're not going to answer your question, we voted who we wanted to vote for, I did what I wanted to do, get out of my yard.
Woo! There it is.
Because we want someone who loves our children, who want to make a difference in our community. That's right. It's not because we did something wrong. We just want something. We want to change. We want something better for our kids. Because Bruce County is made up of black kids. So who is best to go in our school system to teach our children and let them know that you can be somebody. You can be a barber. You can be a doctor. You can be a lawyer. You can be the best that you know how to be. You don't have to go to McDonald's and work.
All right.
You don't have to go to the city of equipment and dig their ditches. You can be the best that you can be. That's right. So why are you all making us feel like we are criminals because we want the best for our children? I'm sorry, y'all, but I get very emotional. I don't want to think about what they did to us. If I don't talk about it, it's like a dream. But when I talk about it, it's reality. I had never been to jail. I had never had handcuffs on my arms. And that hurts. That hurts. People don't realize. They standing by looking at us. They don't realize how this hurt us. Dogs are going to jail with handcuffs on us. And people think about it. People know us. People know who we are. And how you dare them think that we are criminals. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. It's hard. People looking at you that you did something wrong when you knew you did something wrong. I'm sorry. Come on. I thank y'all. I thank y'all for being here with us. I just thank God bless you very much, y'all. Continue to support us, and we really need y'all. We had nothing wrong. All we want to make a difference in our community. That's all we want. That's all we want.
Is a miscarriage of justice in the state of Georgia that cannot be overlooked. The Secretary of State and the Governor have made it very purposeful that they will send the message that if you are African American and if you run for office and if you honestly win the election, you will be punished. The Governor, the Secretary of State are trying to intimidate and suppress the African American vote since they know if the 400,000 registered African Americans in the state of Georgia that did not vote in the last election cycle come out and exercise a right that people have died for, the right to vote. If the African American community and all people of color exercise their constitutional right to vote, it will mean the demise of this white privileged aristocracy here in Georgia. That is not American. That is not worthy of the state of Georgia. This prosecution is a travesty. The prosecutors, the Secretary of State, the Governor should be called out on what they have done to these women and called to publicly apologize for the 4 years that they have put them under this scrutiny and this character assassination. So that's it.
Once again, we must thank Shaveen King. We must also thank Nancy Dennard for doing an outstanding job all the way. The NAACP has been here all the way. This is, of course, Lula Smart. All that she has been through, she violated no law. And if they had not stood their grounds, if they had plea bargained, we wouldn't have had this day. This case just may set a precedent here in Georgia and in the United States of America. This is a very high day, and we just hope that some conclusion can come to the other people that have been charged in what we believe was either a conspiracy or retaliation for Black African Americans dominating the Brooks County School Board of Education. This is the mother right here. And we want to thank, oh my God, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. That's Diane Thomas. She's one of the quick with 10 plus 2.
That's what I'm saying.
We're so thankful. So thankful. How you doing today? What do you want to say about it?
Oh, I just thank God. Thank God for this day that we've been waiting on for 5 weeks, 4 years. I just thank God that justice was done.
Then I was called to Gordon, Georgia. Mayor Ann Whippoorwick. But you don't hear nothing about that on MSNBC and Al Sharpton. 60 Minutes won't talk about that. ABC won't talk about that. They'll tell you about a cat trapped in a tree. or a dog that got ran over by an 18-wheeler. But when it come down to these situations, Lumpkin, Georgia, where Mayor Charles Gibson was called a nigger by a fellow council member, a white female. Nobody have come in, Secretary of State, Governor Nathan Deal, Georgia Attorney General Sam Olens, nobody is saying nothing about it. So all of us can't go to sleep at the wheel. All of us cannot go to sleep at the wheel. And so I have counted at least 11 cities where newly elected black mayors are catching pure heaven on the backside of hell. And yet, nobody says anything. It is getting strange, y'all.
First of all, I'd like to say that we commend the Quitman 10+2 for the way they handle themselves during this time. The thing about it that was so beautiful is that it was all of us.
Yeah.
And we had a wonderful team. Sister Lula Smart, Nancy Denner, Mrs. Simmons from Atlanta, and Attorney King. They made those people look like amateurs.
Yes. Amen. Woo!
Let me give you a little background. But I'm so thankful to the Quitman 10+2 that they did not take a plea bargain.
Amen.
Amen. If they had been convicted of one crime, that would have been a felony on their records, and they would have been messed up for life. My prayer to God was total exoneration, innocent on all counts, and God brought us through.
Sure did.
I want to give you a little background. On December 2010, 10 citizens of Quitman, Georgia were arrested and accused of voter fraud. These citizens was arrested, unceremoniously put in orange jumpsuits, their names splattered all over the newspaper, the television, the radio, and this was only an indictment. An indictment is only an accusation. But yet these citizens were presumed guilty before there was even a trial. Amen. And we must understand that every citizen is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. When they was arrested, we thank God for the community that came together. And the first meeting was held at Bethlehem Church. We thank God for Bethel for opening their doors. I was a pastor there. We also like to thank our good friend Floyd Rose. Stand up. God always have people in place when you need them the most.
Amen.
He is a stalwart in the civil rights movement. He knew what to do. He even named the Quitman 10. Amen. He showed us how to get this movement organized. And we thank God for him. He's from the SCLC. Amen. We thank God for them and Tyrone Brooks coming down and helping us. Also, during this movement, the NAACP was started here. And that was to, there might be future cases that might come up, and we'll have an organization in place to make sure we can handle this situation. Now, the United States Constitution guarantees each person equal protection under the law. The United States Constitution guarantees that every person of our nation is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The rights of these citizens were violated. Amen.
Yes, sir.
And what angers me so is the fact that Sister Latasha Head died
Yes,
with
Lord.
these accusations hanging over her head.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
yet there are still, with her, 11 people that still have to be tried. This case has been going on for 4 years.
Sir.
Now, you have to understand one thing, and that is, every person is entitled to a speedy trial. Their rights was violated. Now, why did it take over 4 years to bring these people to justice? It's because they didn't have a case.
Right.
Amen.
That's right.
They didn't have a case. They were hoping that they would take the plea. But when they didn't do that, they had to prove their case. And if you were in the courtroom,
That's right.
you would have seen one of the biggest fiascos you ever wanted to see in your life.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
The witnesses lied on the stand.
Yes.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation lied on the stand,
That's right.
Yes.
falsified documents.
That's right.
Yes.
The Secretary of State lied on the stand.
Sure did.
Yes.
Boone from the post office, who started this whole mess, lied on the stand,
Sure did.
Yes.
all to try to make these citizens look guilty.
My Lord.
But thank God that we have a God who sits high.
Come on now.
and he
Yes,
looks
sir.
down.
That's right.
Yes, Lord. Yes,
Lord.
Lord.
That's right.
This is the Get To Free Press, and we report what others ignore. This is your First Amendment right to know without whiteouts from a controlled news media whiteout network. And we are located in Valdosta, Georgia, and we are here to inform, educate, and persuade if necessary. Always keep that in mind. Moreover, I want to say to you that as a community, state, nation, and world, we are not who we claim to be, but who we prove ourselves to be over a given period of time. And if we are a liar, time will tell. And if we are a racist or a hater, time will tell. And our righteous and holy God already know. So you are only fooling yourselves. Again, the Ghetto Free Press. I'm George Foster Ryan.